haven't written anything, so
Yeah. So it's definitely it's and I that makes sense because I still especially because when you are doing videos, but for me I know what I'm going to talk about. I know what the main thing I'm looking for is just the best hook, right? But again, after this class today, we're going to it's going to even be a little clearer, for you because we need to stand out there and not really worry. Your friends are out again.
oh no, that's my dog. Had a discussion.
Okay.
Yeah, but he's not.
I don't know how you pet moms and parents do this. I don't know. I
Well, I
don't
don't have
know.
any kids anymore, so I just like he's my
That's the
kid,
baby. That's the
my
baby.
baby. Yes, he's my baby, and he's just being a little turd today. So yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So very good. Yeah. So anyway, win for the week. Win
When
for the week. I know today has not been the best,
now
but for the
this
week, let's talk about the wins.
well for last week, I had lots of stuff written down. What did I have? Well, I posted the marketing
Hmm.
message that we worked on last week. I
Hmm.
sent it to 10 people. I haven't gotten any bites. But I have been posting it and also what I do whenever I see, if I'm scrolling, if I see somebody's got, what do you do? I either do my elevator speech or I posted the whole thing plus my elevator speech at the
Hmm.
end on another
Hmm.
one last week on Friday.
Hmm.
And she's someone that I really respect. And she was like, I really, really like that. She's a business coach. So she really, really liked it. So that was
Hmm.
a win for that.
Hmm. Hmm.
I think my live went really well. It was planning time. So I think that went really well.
Yeah.
And I did a reel while I was out on a walk, which I haven't done before. So
That's good.
uh,
I saw it. I think I saw that one.
I think you did.
That you were, yeah, I think you were talking about you're going to be going live, right?
Yes.
Yes, yes, I saw that one. I saw that
Mhm.
one.
Uh,
And okay.
And I'm starting to slowly get an idea of my let go um, foundation
Framework.
kind of thing. I'm just
Hmm.
trying to kind of work that out. Like I
Hmm.
said, this week's been kind of a struggle for motivation and creativity. My brain is kind of disengaged. So, um, I just work when I can and I get ideas down on paper when I can. So,
Mm,
yeah.
yeah. So now let's try to work that together and see how can how can I help. So if we're going to flip this week from being that kind of week to the kind of week that, first of all, what do we want? Like, what kind of week do we want? Okay, I'd like us to fix this together so that moving forward is going to be a bit easier for you.
I don't know. Give me more energy. I don't know. Can you do that?
Where is my energy machine?
Can you just send that to me, please? Yeah, there's yeah, I don't know how I'm gonna I think I've written it in my calendar for Thursday that I'm going to write kind of a blog slash email. I kind of reached out to Kathy last week and was like, how do I use this email a little bit better?
Okay.
Because I think you and I talked about last week me writing more. I think
Mm-hmm.
it was
Mm-hmm.
you. I think it was you I was talking to.
Yeah.
So um I started to think about, for example, the word declutter.
Okay.
So I just was like, what does that really mean? So I kind of did a little search and I looked up the meaning, and I found three definitions, and they were slightly different. And then I found this little stat that said that it actually was not a term that wasn't, it was never used until about 2018, 2019. So it's not even, it's a brand new term. So
Mm-hmm.
when I mentioned that to Kathy, she's like, that's a good education piece for
Mm-hmm.
an email kind of monthly newsletter thing. Like,
Mm-hmm.
hey, what does decluttering mean to you? So
So you. Mm-hmm.
that's kind of my idea of what I would like to kind of write that.
Okay.
And then I was thinking of just putting like part of a blurb up, not all of it, like on my business page, my personal page, and my group, say, and then say like, hey, this is my new monthly. I don't want to call it a newsletter though, so I'm kind of stuck on that.
Mm-hmm.
But
Mm-hmm.
this is my
Mm-hmm.
monthly whatever. If you'd like to read more, let me know below.
Mm-hmm.
Join, or I can make a link even for them to join the email, a landing
Mm-hmm.
page maybe to join the email.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I don't know. What do you think of that? That was my.
Um, I think emails are great, as in really good.
Okay.
Okay. So if you're able to do it, I would say go for it. For me personally, I don't do a lot of emails. Okay.
See, and
And
Kathy is really big on email. Like she
yes.
email campaigns, right? Because of,
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
um,
Yes, because of Keep,
yeah,
right? She has
and
to,
that's what I was saying. Like
and
I'm,
but
yeah, because I'm
yeah.
using Keep as just a big contact right now. It's just a big
Mm-hmm,
contact book, and I'm like, I need
mm-hmm.
to start using it.
Use it more, yeah.
Yeah.
So what I would the only challenge or piece that I'm gonna add there is, once you begin to, sorry, hold on a second, can you hear me?
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah. So once you one moment, I just want to make sure that I have. Yeah. Okay. Very good. Yeah. So you have to go into every single thing that you do knowing the cost. Okay. Count the cost of what is it going to cost you. Writing emails is very similar to blogging.
Mhm.
At
Which
least,
also,
at least that's the way. Yeah. And that's the way I see it. And I feel like, because of the fact that each of these things, when they all come together, they work together.
mhm.
Okay. But if you're in the building stage, it can be overwhelming if you want to go with everything at once. Okay, it can be. Now each person is different, and so I wouldn't want to get distracted from, like, create a solid video plan and practice it and test it for a bit. Now, emails what would be best, and we're going to even talk about that next week and the week after, is what would be best is we would have emails consolidating or working hand in hand with your videos. So you wanted to go live, you send an email. You just went live, here is the replay, and all of those kind of things, and then bring in some tips and things that you do just by emails. Okay. If you're able to do that, I would say it's something that you should create time in your schedule to do. However, I have to tell you exactly what I'm doing. And I don't want to sound like an hypocrite. I don't send emails. Not because I don't want to, but I just don't have the bandwidth at this time, right? And there was a time I blogged in short, there was a time I blogged every day. I did one time 30 days of blogging, and then other times I used to do my podcast and I did emails, every single, without fail. It requires your mind being there. Okay. And then also, now, not just your mind in the blogging way, you now need to bring copy into it. Okay, which is what you're already doing with the video. So it can easily just transition into, bringing it there. But personally, I'm not, because of the fact that I'm so busy working with people, working with, and doing all this. And plus extra, the kids are home now and a lot of, other things. I would say that I don't know if I should say it's an excuse for me. So if you are able to do it, please go for it. Okay.
Well, that's why I'm like, yeah, that's why I'm only doing once a month right
Okay.
now. I mean, that can
Okay.
be something that can be
I
broadened
love that.
more often.
Yeah. Yeah.
I do like to write, and I like to
Mhm.
write from an educational piece, because when I was in
Okay.
university, I loved doing the research and
Hmm.
but I've gotten away from that, and I would really like to bring it back into my life.
Yeah.
And it's also
Yeah.
something that I could do outside of my office. So I could take the
Yeah.
laptop and sit outside and
Outside.
write.
Exactly.
And that's another piece that I'm trying to kind of open up to that. And then,
I
like I
I
said, I
love
could do
that.
a landing page which
To
was
get
another way to capture emails, right? So
yes, yes. So I love that. I really love that. I love the fact that you said you can do once a month in short. I think that's a good way to start, because again, remember, even with the videos, we want to pick a consistent flow and then go for it, right? And then after a while you can increase if you want to. Okay. Like for example, this week now I'm doing this what I usually do as a masterclass. I'm doing it as a focus group this week. And instead of doing it on Zoom, I'm doing it on Facebook. Instead of doing it on Facebook, I'm doing it on Zoom. Okay, and it's not streamed anywhere. Okay, so it's like a focus group for people to learn. Okay, and practice. Right now, next week, and which is now starting this week, actually starts the last phase of this 3 months thing, and that's now the processes. Right. One of the processes, one of the things that I make sure you add to your system is an event at least a month. Okay. So if you do an event once a month, then you can make noise about it. Now, this month, what I'm doing is I'm trying not to overwhelm myself. I'm just doing bare minimum. What can I do that will still get the result? Again, clients, right? Right? That's what I'm looking for. And this works for me. I've seen it work over and over again. The only thing that I'm adding now is, or tweaking, is instead of doing it on Facebook and just talk and see people in comments and all that, I want to see people for real.
right.
Right. So I love that. And I've done that a few times before, but this is pretty much be almost like a test, okay, for me. So and I want you to do the same, right? So now back to emails. The way I use emails right now is more announcements.
Mhm.
I don't do any serious writing. But eventually I'm going to do that. And my son is coming back into, because a lot more now what I do is more on, because again, the way I see emails, or communication online, is I see it as interactions with people. Emails is really good, but you know what else is very good? Messenger.
I am not getting any responses from Messenger from anyone.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
getting frustrating. So
Very good.
I send it, nobody does it. I follow up, they don't answer me back. And now I'm just like, I've just almost given up.
Okay.
It's just like,
Okay.
I don't even want to use it anymore because it's just frustrating so much.
I know. So you see, the thing is this. The thing is, Messenger is actually so. I love Messenger because most of the people, in short, you look at all the statistics that are in the world. Okay, for email reading, if you get people 10% of the people in your emails to open your email, you're a genius. And this is
No,
across
and
board.
I understand that part. I
Okay.
just would like to try it because I'm just like, um yeah, I'm
Yeah,
I want
yeah.
to write, and I
Uh-huh.
just want to try it and see what
No, no,
happens.
no. I'm not saying not to. I'm not saying not to. I'm just about. I was just about to compare it with the kind of response with Messenger. Okay, Messenger. I've done a lot of Messenger outreaches, and the truth of the matter is, it also has its own challenges. Okay,
Mhm.
however, because of the fact that people are online, it's easier, okay, to identify the people that need what you have, say, send them a message, and they talk to you, I've, in the last 2 weeks, in the last week alone, the number of calls that I've had, maybe, I don't know, maybe like, and this is me doing all sorts of party and everything all week, one party after the other, I would say seven. Okay, seven people just from Messenger. Okay, and now another thing is the events that I'm doing this week. This is all that I'm doing is Messenger. I'm talking to people in the Messenger. And the way it works is I find you, okay, online. And when I find the person that is, I actually found this, acronym, find, ask, and message. Okay, just a moment. I'm trying to bring up another screen here. Yeah, so it's, the find is find, ask, and message. Okay, so you find the person. Where do we find people? Okay, so you find them. You can see my screen, right? Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So where do we find people? Where are some places that you can find people?
Just other people's groups,
Other people's
um,
groups.
from my personal page.
Yeah. Personal page is great. However, if your ideal clients are not plenty there, it's not the best place to find, your audiences.
Yeah. So just other people's groups then. That's
Other
all I
people's
have.
groups.
Yeah.
Exactly. Or other people's pages even.
Yeah, which is what I've been doing this last little while, is when I'm scrolling, I see when they're asking, what do you do?
Hmm.
I've been posting that. I've been answering some questions, but on some of the groups that I'm in and some of the pages, but I think I'm fatigued about that right now. So
Yeah, yeah. I personally, and I have to tell you this because a couple of months ago, I would say, I don't want to, like, you go to a place, they say, what do you do? And then I type, I type, I type. It doesn't bring any results. Well,
no,
at least for
nothing
me,
is right now.
for
Yeah.
me, for me, it didn't bring any results. It's just, and I found that for me, it was even almost sounding like I was desperate with all the other 90 something people that posted. In short, when I got there back then, I'll see the how many people that have posted there, what they do, and I'm like, how many people are gonna see mine? Like, nobody is gonna see me as
Yeah.
number 98, right?
The good thing about the one that I did on Friday is
Yeah.
she gave permission to do it in the comments or to make your
Okay.
own post, which I
Post.
made my
Aha.
own post.
Aha.
So if they give you permission to do that, then that's what I'll do, right? It's like
Aha.
create my own post. I added a picture, and it's exposure. But
Exactly.
not all of the places let you do
We'll
that.
do that.
Want you to
Exactly.
do that, right? And I'm having
Okay.
trouble finding places. All of those organizing groups that I'm in, I'm not allowed to post anything in there about what I do.
Mm-hmm.
So I have to be sneaky, and it's like that
Mm-hmm.
that fatigue of like I'm typing, 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 right? And I
Yeah,
feel
yeah,
like
for sure.
I'm right now is like, ugh, I don't feel like answering that. I could probably answer that, but I don't feel like
But
answering.
I'm not. Yeah, yeah. No,
Yeah,
for sure, for sure. I feel you. I feel you, and
yeah,
and and I definitely am with you in that. But the thing that I have been doing that I find really useful, and the strategy behind this is, I am always teaching in my group every single week. Okay,
yeah,
and I'm doing this kind of events and different things like that. So what I need to do, it's more like a long game. It's more of a long game than a short game, right? What I
yeah.
need to do is I need to bring more people to see what I'm doing in my group. Okay.
Yeah, that's where
Or exactly. Or even just be friends with them on social media. Okay. So now what I do is when I go out there and I find a place, for example, if I come to your group, okay, or a random group, and somebody asks, what do you do, or what are you, there was one that I did recently, what are you currently promoting? Okay, I think I saw that in the Women Helping Women organization group somewhere, and all of those women, what they did was they posted what they were promoting. Okay, now some of these people are my ideal clients. Okay, excuse me. So how I find my ideal clients is I go to groups of business entrepreneurs that are trying to sell more and trying to get more clients. Okay, and when I see them, I message them. When we start to talk, I add them as friends. Okay, now I don't care where it leads to, whether it leads to them joining my group or attending an event that I'm doing that is not even on Facebook. Okay, so all I need is connection, 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 right? So instead of just going to just talk and answer questions, I don't want to do that. I know that's not gonna, I'm gonna, in short, there's no way I say that it's going to, the way I see this work is if, for example, you say something that becomes really viral. Okay, so or somebody says something on your behalf. Okay, so for example, one of your clients now, somebody asks a question somewhere, and then your client goes and writes, or your audience member goes and writes and says, you need to talk to Trisha. Okay, that I find I've seen work a lot. Okay, where somebody says something about you, and then other people are like, can you, I'd like to know more, I'd like to know more, and it can blow up and become, something really good. And all of these people, because of what they've heard you say to this other person, they want to come to where you're hanging out, right? Otherwise, I don't do it. What I do is what I just said now. I go to groups or pages that people have asked a question or they've said something, and other people that are my ideal clients are writing down below. I message all those people, and when I'm messaging them, I check them. It takes a little bit of time. Okay, I check because I want to know that for real. Yes, you are my ideal client. I want to check what product you're selling to make sure that it's something that I would be interested in helping you promote, that kind of a thing. Right. So now the question for you before we jump into class today is what is a place that you can go that your ideal clients are writing their messages that you can, and I'm talking ideal clients that are ready to take action.
that's a really good question because I am really struggling with that. The organizing groups that I'm a part of, they are not my ideal client. A lot of them are people who would not do well with virtual anything at this point because they're stuck in this vortex of stuff that they haven't been able to get out of. I mean, I comment on their stuff and I answer some questions. I've reached out to a few of them and not a lot of bites. I am a member of a 50+ women's group and a menopause group, and maybe that's where my people are at in those,
So,
because I've been thinking about mature women, menopause, only because it's like really big in my life right now. So how that affects our organizing, how that affects, because low energy, lack of sleep, all of that stuff, how does that affect it, and how do we move past it? But I don't know where else to go. I just
no, but I'm wondering. Okay, back to the drawing board. I'm wondering the people that you're helping that are ready to take action. Are they in menopause or are they busy women? Because the fact that you are where you are doesn't mean that those are the people that are ready to pay you.
I don't know. I think it's both. Like I can't get a handle on who my audience is, right? So the woman that I'm working
Mhm.
with now and we're sharing things, I don't know if she's my ideal audience. She's ready to take action.
Mhm.
So is it about she's in her 40s, so I'm thinking 40s to 60s.
Mhm.
So yeah,
I
perimenopause, menopause,
love
that's a part
I
of it.
love I love 40s.
Yeah. So um those are the people that are usually ready to take action. That's who I wrote that message for, was women who are
Mhm.
like, you're busy, but they're busy
Mhm.
and perhaps perimenopausal or menopausal, right?
Yeah,
So they're
yeah.
both. They're both, right?
Yes,
And
yes.
then I've been thinking about it because I know that I've been seeing a lot of like, I just don't have any energy. I don't, that piece of it. So how does your energy affect when you're doing
Okay.
this? How do you get
Okay. Okay.
motivated? That stuff, I don't know. I don't know.
But why would they want to, what do they want to desperately change?
Because they feel like crap. And they just want to have control of their life back again and organization. They want to find direction. They want to find that freedom and direction in their lives because there's a lot of
Okay.
changes that are happening. And I keep coming back to that, which I
Mhm.
was there last year with the
Mhm.
menopausal women and this piece. And then I moved away from it, and now it's just all of a sudden showing back up in my life. So
Mhm.
maybe
Mhm.
that's a sign that I need to focus my attention on women who are not maybe menopausal, but in the same situation.
Mhm. Yeah. Um, yeah. So this morning when I was, I was just thinking about when I um I was thinking about, I was in the shower thinking about, how it went yesterday in the training that I had with the ladies, and then thinking about, how I'm going to present it to them for today. It just suddenly occurred to me again that when I started coaching, I coached and I was helping people, but most of the people that I helped at the time, I would say 80% of the people that I helped at the time were people that I knew. Okay, or they knew me at some point from somewhere. Okay, and but to move over to people that I don't know, okay, or that didn't know me, it was like a bridge that I needed to cross at the time. Okay, and now I remember being in one, two, three, um, group, four coaching programs. Four coaching programs. The first one I paid. Actually, the first one was just an online. I would say five. The first one was just an online course. Okay, so it wasn't. I didn't have interactions. The second one I paid about $20,000 to be a part of that. Okay, the next one I paid about 5,000. I'm all this I'm saying US. Okay, and then the next one now, the fifth one, which is now the fourth coaching that I was a part of, was now the place where I found a formula that I've been teaching. I had been teaching this, but I didn't even get that experience myself, and or maybe anyway, where I'm going to is I was in that group, and it was inside of that group that somebody said, videos. Can you? I love your videos. We weren't even talking about anything. She just said, your videos. Do you mind if you guide me on how to do videos? Okay. And then I was like, in short, at that time, this lady, what we were doing in the group at the time was that they were helping me, and I was trying to figure out how can I attract more of my ideal clients. But the question is, who are my ideal clients? Because I have so many facets of my life. In that particular group, we had got to a stage where they said, why don't you just focus on women that are traveling? Okay, because I was always traveling, the traveling wife, okay, something like that, and I felt, that's really good. I should focus on the traveling wife, wives on the move. Okay, I was coming up with that, but then I realized that deep down within me, I wasn't I felt, yeah, I'm a wife on the move and I'm always moving, but I didn't have that deep connection with wives on the move. Okay. You
Mhm.
know, but then when this lady asked me the question, I was going to do another challenge and she said, show me videos. Then I met with her like this. I recorded the call and she had all sorts of questions about your videos, your this, your what do you say, what do you not say, what do you look like, what, you know? And I was like, it was just like,
Yeah.
that's it right there, right? So now all the teachings and the sessions that I had, people were telling me what to do. The coaches were telling me what to do. I didn't get the breakthrough until I actually had a stranger ask me for help.
Hmm.
Okay. So now what I'm going to and what I'm getting to right now is we're going to design and design and design in the lab, okay? But it comes back to the real field and the real people that are on the field, who they are and what they want from you. Now, that's why when you do more and more videos, you need to pay attention to people and what they're asking, right? You know, and what they're asking you is the way they see you and how they think you can help them. And most of the times, they're also ready to pay you for. Okay.
Yeah. The ones who are commenting right now are not the action takers. And that's,
Mm-hmm.
I think, where I'm getting the frustration from. So then I did miss one of the wins, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The woman I'm working with, she texted me or messaged me over the weekend to tell me that someone who follows her, it's actually a friend of hers, follows her, saw my when she saw my interview with her, started
Mm-hmm.
following me, and she sent a message to her and it says, I am making some progress with organization around my house. You and Trisha have helped to inspire me amongst other sources of motivation.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was a
That's
good
big.
win. So it did
Yeah.
help me understand that people are listening, even if they're not.
Yes.
So
Taking
she's
action.
taking the steps. Maybe she's more of an action taker. And
Mm-hmm.
maybe what I need to do is focus on the education piece for now.
Yes. Yes. So the education piece is good. And but you see the thing is the element of action taking and get more help that you can't leave out of the picture.
No,
Okay.
and I think I'm doing both in my lives.
Okay.
I'm trying to
Okay.
do lots of call to action,
Okay.
and all of that stuff. I think my frustration lies right now is like, how do I bring people from outside my group? Because the people who seem to be in my group that are commenting for the most
Mm-hmm.
part, with the
Mm-hmm.
exception of a friend who joined a couple of weeks ago, who I actually did work with her when I was first starting out. I
Okay.
helped her with her office.
Okay.
She's been helping me a lot with her comments, and
Okay.
she is my ideal client from the
Okay.
very beginning. She's my age range. She's
Okay.
kind of in a similar lifestyle kind of idea. That's the kind of like that 40s to 60s kind of group. So she has been helping. So those are good things. I know. I
Mm-hmm.
think I'm just
Mm-hmm.
feeling, oh no,
Human.
tired.
Human. Yeah.
Sorry.
No, that's okay.
Just tired.
Yeah.
So, uh, anyway, let's move on to something that's not going to make me cry.
You know, crying actually is is good.
Yeah, there's been a lot of that lately.
Yeah,
So,
crying is good, and getting the emotions out. Because you see, one thing that what I'm gonna do is I can pause the recording, the on